Hello, welcome back to my channel. Finally, I am back. I have been taking a little break, going through some shit. But I do have two new album reviews, one of which we're going to get done here today, and the next one I'm going to aim to get done up in the next couple of days if I have the house to myself to record, because otherwise it's fucking going to get interrupted every 5 minutes. So, out of the two that I have for you, we are starting off today with Windrose, Warfront, and the next video will be The Work by Rivers of Nile. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly because my echo announces it Nihil, so I'm pretty sure it's Nile, but fuck knows. So anyway, let's get into it. Put your pickaxes down, grab your armour and swords, we're leaving the mines and joining the Warfront. So, for those of you who are not familiar with Windrose, they are an Italian dwarven power metal band founded in 2009 roughly in Tuscany. The band has had 5 studio albums so far, with Shadows over Lothadron? I can't even read my own handwriting. In 2012, Wardens of the West Wind in 2015, Stone Hymn in 2017, Winter Saga in 2019, and Warfront this year, 2022. So, Stone Hymn was actually my introduction to the band in 2018, maybe 2017. And yeah, I've listened to them ever since, right? But I've never actually revisited the first 2 albums from the early 2010s. So I might have to go back and look at those. But anyway, let's kick this off. We have track number 1 of War and Sorrow, 2-minute song. This track is a short 2-minute instrumental to open the album, which was very well done, very well crafted. I think it suited well as an opener, and it transitioned very nicely over into track number 2, Army of Stone, which was about 5 minutes and 5 seconds long. So yeah, this one picks up literally of where War and Sorrow leaves it. Changes the tempo slightly for a bit of a quicker pace with a more grandiose instrumental that fits the track. It's perfectly well crafted. These guys really know what they're doing with their musicianship. I think obviously what with having 5 albums under their belt, being around since like 2012, they've been around about 10 years now, so you can expect these guys to know what they're doing. It really does give you that otherworldly dwarven sound and feel. The track tells you of the fallen soldiers and revealing what's happened to them and living their tale through this song in their story. With one line being, "A song of winter cold will storm the empty halls as you hear the voices of dwarves rising from the mines. The stories have been told, the legend will live on in the adventures that are yet to come. A song of winter cold will storm the empty halls as you hear the voices of the dwarves rising from the mines. The stories have been told, the legends will live on within the dwarves of the mountains reborn." Which is literally just one verse that I think showcases what I was saying previously really well, especially within its closing lines of the fallen dwarves being reborn in the mountains. So, moving on, we have track number 3, Tales of War, which is 4 minutes and 44 seconds long. Starts with some great drums, guitars to create the vibe that it's going for. It fits a song that is titled Tales of War. The vocals flow effortlessly over it, and it just creates a feeling and like a vision in your mind that takes you from where you are to a dwarven camp on the battlefield, you know, sat around the fireplace sort of thing. It just kind of does it what it wants really well, and they get the images across. Take this line, for example. Into a storm or through the fires, cross the unknown, their names are echoing. Tonight and telling the glory of yore that seems so far away, on epic battlefields they ride, together as one. Their tales are echoing tonight, the deeds of heroes will always be told, as they belong to the tales of war. So, it's a great chorus that really does sell the narrative of this being about the songs sung of the fallen soldiers and the sacrifices that they have made on the battlefield for their race of the dwarves to carry on fighting another day. Really well done. Moving on, we have track number 4. We have Fellows of the Hammer, which is about 6 minutes 14 seconds roughly. And the grand singing style still slides smoothly over the instrumental used for this track here, with the verses that are long and telling stories that tend to trickle seamlessly again into the bridge and subsequently the choruses as well, which is phenomenally catchy and upbeat. Take me down to the land of gold, come with me as the glory is rising, take me down to the promised home we have awaited for so long. From the deep a song will rise in the dark, hear from afar it's a call when the fellows of the hammer sing from night till rising morn. So, this is repeated about twice, I think it is, before flowing into the next verse. These tracks are all crafted beautifully for the narrative purposes that they want to get across. And the musicianship really helps drive that home, so you feel that you are a part of it too, listening to this album. So moving on, we have track number 5 already, which is Together We Rise, which is about 5 minutes, maybe 5 minutes and 1 second, not 100% sure. And we're already at the halfway point of this album. You know, it's crazy. Once again, this track number 5, opens with a slight intro before the call of the vocals kick in. And it really gives a battle cry for all dwarves to rise and prepare for battle. And one particular portion of the song I loved overall, and the delivery of it, was strong is the blow of the hammers, smashing their lines overwhelmed by steel ranks of dwarves in the front line. To fight until they will fall, we don't look back or surrender. Cursed is the fate of contenders, the wrath of dwarves is upon them, coming from the depths of the mountain halls. Again, it flowed effortlessly and really tapped into the passions of the soldiers that you would feel if they were singing this in a tavern after a hard-fought victory in the battlefield, or even, you know, something that they might sing on the front lines to kind of perk up their ranks, if that makes sense. So moving on, we have track number 6, which is where things start to get a little bit out of my league here. So this one is called Gates of Ekrund, and it's about 5 minutes and 52 seconds. And apparently, this song is about the defense and subsequent fall of Ekrund, a fallen dwarven keep in the Warhammer universe during 1498 IC, where the Badlands were overrun by the Greenskins, and Ekrund was overwhelmed by orcs After many months of intense battle by the extremely outnumbered dwarven forces, they then the then keep of Ekrund has remained in possession of the Greenskins ever since. So I don't know a lot about Warhammer. It's well out of my league. I messaged one of my friends about it because he knows a lot about Warhammer, and even he was like, yeah, fucked if I know, sort of thing. But as for the song, it had a really catchy chorus, and the song had a very strong battle story, and the vibe was very badass, and the music video as well is really good, which I do recommend checking out on YouTube. And it just added to the overall vibe of the song on a whole. So moving on, we have track number 7, One Last Day, 6 minutes and 30 seconds. The first minute-ish of this are solely enjoyable instrumentals before we slip right back into the vocals. The song has a great flow and the story is really good, and that continues throughout. The chorus is smooth and very well done. The day may come when dwarves will be overrun, when our bones will rest in the underground, but on this day we stand on the battlefield to tell the story of those who will never yield. The day may come when dwarves will be overrun, and our blood will fall on the battleground, but on the field we stand, and we're not afraid. With no remorse we fight for one last day, one last day. I think that says all it needs to. Moving on, we're going to just jump to track number 8 now. The Battle of Five Armies. One of the longer tracks here, 7 minutes and 19 seconds. So we start off with light and symphonic, but quickly pick up the pace, again with a faint choir ah-haing before the vocals come into play, with catchy melodies and the drums carrying a solid beat throughout the song's duration. This could arguably be one of the strongest tracks on this album, and I would even hedge my bets, one of the strongest songs Windrose have actually put out all together. And it's third to last track on this one, and in what has been as well like a very solid selection of songs from start to finish so far. Oh, pardon me. Not long woken up before I recorded this, so. And with this track, we even get a slight lull before it starts back up, and we get more of a folky sung tone to it before we transition then again smoothly back to the regular vocals and the chorus, etc. Moving on, we have track number 9, I Am the Mountain. Again, 7 minutes, 18 seconds, so it's 1 second shorter than the previous song. And again, we have a very symphonic opening, as well as, you know, drums and guitar coming in. Then you have the first minute and 20 seconds just being purely instrumental, used as a build to the true start of this song. The vocal delivery is slightly different at some points, but not too distant from the signature sound of Windrose that you'll come accustomed to over the duration of their discography or this album alone. And it's very well laid out, it's very well thought through. The track does, I believe, fit where it's positioned within the track list. I think if you put it anywhere different, it wouldn't work, or not work as well. And, you know, closing it off with some like really long bangers is a good way to do it. There's a slight quick lull near the end before a chanted style vocal line comes through, and the grandiose style comes back to life for the last leg of this penultimate song. Laying down upon the ground, watching within myself in silence and snow, the dreams take on new rise. now that I'm forced to stare the past in the eyes. And moving on, we have track number 10, Tomorrow Has Come, 4 minutes 36 seconds. So here we have the last song, which starts with fires crackling and a slow acoustic folky tone guitar strumming away before slow, deliberate, clear vocals come through, and it's almost like it's being sung around the campfire after a battle, mourning their losses and the weight of expectations of more losses to come with the dawning of a new day ahead. It's a good, slow, somber closing track that has a good sway and a good flow to it, and it's accented by a gang singing vocal at points too, which adds that little extra punch and feeling to the vocals. It fits perfectly, it's perfectly done, it's laid out right where it needs to be before it picks up for a grand hurrah to end off the final portion of the song. And I personally loved this closing track, and I think it was a really solid way to end off the album. So, my final thoughts. I really enjoyed this album. It could easily have been a background track for an epic adventure movie, like Lord of the Rings or some shit, you know. It could have fitted someone's D&D campaign in the background. It tells tall tales of battles and hard-fought losses, and it really is full of great stories. And if you're after an eccentric dwarven symphonic saga, then this would definitely be something I would recommend, and a great album for you to try out personally. I rate this around a solid 8.5 to a 9 out of 10. And the only reason I say that is I do wish there was a few more upbeat songs or differentiations between tracks, like on Winter Saga, where they had like their cover of Yogscast's Diggy Diggy Hole, which they also ended up dropping a dance remix for, which was kind of cool and weird. But this was a really fun album nonetheless. Moving on, my top songs are Army of Stone, Tomorrow Has Come, Gates of Ekrund, and I Am the Mountain. I feel like these four really encompass the vibe of the album, the different stories they can tell, and it also shows some of the different styles of their music. So if you're unsure, check out those four, and if you don't like them, as we say, you probably won't like the rest of the album, but it's worth giving a try. I will see you guys again very soon for the Rivers of Nihil, the work. Remember, stay safe out there, my friends. Goodbye.